first time I heard about college soccer was when we were together at APFA, so the Asia Pacific Football Academy that was grounded in Lincoln, and they opened up my eyes to that pathway in terms of actually showing us a presentation on US college soccer and what the benefits of it were. Before that, I had thought the only way to play football further was either amateur in New Zealand or professional overseas.
I know you spent time at Basel before you went to the US, so what was it like, experiencing professional side of football full time and then kind of experiencing the college environment?
You get way more support when you go to college, So I found that I already had a structure and a network around me that helped me become better, both as a footballer and as a person on the side of it. They're really big on getting you to do your student side of the thing, and it can be a bit overwhelming at the start when you move overseas, So when I moved over to Basel, I was pretty much by myself. The club, of course, they help you out with some things like living and transport and those kind of things, but in terms of socially and mentally, the college environment was way more supportive for what I wanted to do, and that reflected as well in how I played. At Basel, I was pretty easy to lose confidence, and the level was obviously really high and I was improving. I wasn't necessarily feeling that good while I was doing it, which made me really enjoy and appreciate college football, but it actually helped me improve quite a lot more because of the support system around it.
Was it a bit different than what you first initially thought?
Yeah, mate, to be honest, I had no idea what to expect, really. I was quite off the bat. It was mostly me just emailing schools, trying to figure out which school could give me a scholarship. I basically picked the school that had the best level of football and the best scholarship. And then so everything after that was kind of a secondary consideration. So I'd looked into it, of course, where it was, the size of it. I'd spoken with the head coach and he seemed like a really good guy. So I felt quite comfortable going in. And then when I got there, I realized that it was pretty much like any other football team where it was 25 other guys who were looking to improve and also looking to have fun, looking to do other things off the pitch.
What sort of things off the pitch? How was the socializing with your teammates?
It was really cool. We went to a really small university, so there was a lot of time together, in the dining hall. You'd see each other around in classes all the time. There were quite a few guys that wanted to train extra, so we'd go do some extra training sessions. And then of course, there's the events at the schools and stuff. You'd probably know this better than me, being at some bigger schools. There's heaps of different stuff going on, after the classes are done in the afternoons and evenings that you can go to, and just really build a really strong social network if you feel like it.
I just wanted to touch on a few points where, obviously you had some really good accolades in college. You were an All-American, you had a few nice left-footed free kicks, mate, putting them in the top corner. So talk us through that goal that you scored against St. Bonaventure.
Mate, that's a while ago now. I haven't scored a free kick like that for ages. Trying to rub it in, aren't you? I always practiced set pieces and stuff quite a bit during college and was encouraged to by my coach, because it's obviously a massive part of football in college. A lot of goals are scored off set pieces. So the day before game, I used to always take 10, 12 balls and just get my confidence up and just focus on striking the ball, not even really trying to score, just focusing on getting a good connection on the ball. And I guess that kind of showed in that moment.
So obviously congratulations on making the all-white squad for the World Cup qualifiers last year. Do you think college played a big part in your pathway in getting there, or how did it fit in your journey?
Yeah, for sure. Without college, I would have been lost. Touching on what we talked about before with Basel, I failed at that youth system. I was 6 months in the under-19s and didn't make the reserves. Tried to find another professional club in Europe to go into a youth academy and didn't make it anywhere. Going to college really set up a pathway for me, both on and off the pitch. It gave me 4 more years to really improve, continue to work on your weaknesses and continue to make your strengths better. 4 years is a long ass time to get better. And you're seeing a lot of players coming out of college, they're at that age where they're mature both in their body and their minds. They can kind of be ready for that professional level, especially for people like us from New Zealand. Use those 4 years as well as you can. Also develop yourself on the side of it. So get a degree, get good friends, and all that stuff again sets you up for a sustainable long-term career. You kind of really discover who you are under those years, and it's important to do it in a supportive environment like college.
How do you think your life developed, or how do you think you developed?
Massively. I mean, you touched on it before, that people from all different cultures come to college. So met people from all over the world, basically learned all these new perspectives on things, and not just within the football team, it's all the athletes and all the regular students. the actual culture of America, you know, going home to people for Thanksgiving and for spring break, feel connected with what you're doing, and gave you a big boost, like in terms of, man, I'm really doing something that's valuable, not just for football, because football was the most important thing while I was there. Just as importantly, I liked what I studied. So if you can find what you enjoy doing in the classroom, which might be easier said than done, you're coming at it with a fantastic base. You know, you kind of can develop a lifelong interest in something that could really lead to you making a positive difference down the line. For me, that was psychology. For other people, it would be other things. Yeah. And then socially, like getting those years to develop as well. I was quite shy and focused and just wanted to do my own thing. And going to college, you get put in a good balance between having to get outside of your comfort zone, but also having the support around you. There's heaps of like people that are employed in college that will help you, like international department and whatever else you need within the athletic department, not just performance stuff. They'll help you out with what you need. Yeah. So that was really big for me too, being able to, you know, learn more about people and learn more about myself in social situations, and become more confident in how I express myself, basically.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what I went over there, and my first initial thoughts were only kind of football, and I'm going to do a bit of study, but you know, it turned into something so much more than that. I do want to touch on the fact that obviously not many, a lot more now, and I think a lot of Kiwi kids do quite well in college. So just talk me through the experience of yourself getting drafted to the Vancouver Whitecaps, and then also why do you think so many Kiwis do quite well in college?
It's a big mentality thing in that we grow up in an island where we're kind of forced to work for things. There's not much of a youth professional setup in New Zealand. It's starting to come, but it hasn't really been there. And those values of learning how to push yourself and work hard and train by yourself translate really well into the college game. Then the cultures, I think, work well together. English speaking, you can kind of take a leadership role if that's something you desire within your team. Guys will respect you when you come in, but you do have to significantly prove yourself more in the European environment. In terms of me getting drafted, that was a pretty awesome experience. I went to the combine. I knew that I was going to be drafted at some point, but I didn't know when. So just sitting in that hall thinking, I hope it's me next time, eh? You thought that 25 times before I got drafted. It's a pretty satisfying achievement to know that it's a really hard thing to do and that you're one of the ones that have, you know, been chosen to do it. That's where the hard work starts. There's hardly anyone that gets a contract straight from getting drafted. So it's an awesome event to be at, but it's kind of just a gateway into what you want to do next. So it's not the end point of college at all to be drafted. Heaps of guys don't get drafted and do really well. It was a cool accolade. I would just say it's a step along the way if you're fortunate enough to be in that position.
No, that's a really refreshing way to look at it. I think that was probably the cherry on top for you after your 4 years. You know, obviously a really successful 4-year college career. No, thanks for your time, Franny, and you know, you've given some really, really good answers, really insightful as well. So, no, I appreciate your time.